New this morning, an executive for Camden-based Campbell's is on leave for an alleged expletive-filled rant.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's not healthy. Now that I know what the in it, I can eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
Former Campbell's employee Robert Garza presented the recording as part of a wrongful termination lawsuit. He said he was fired after reporting the alleged comments made by executive Martin Bally. Garza says they also included racist remarks about other employees. Campbell's defended the quality of its food production. The company says it has not been able to verify the recording and said, quote, if the comments were in fact made, they are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company.
Campbell Soup responds to the rant of one of their executives saying that their Campbell Soup had bioengineered meat, or in his words, he claimed it was 3D printed meat and that it was unhealthy. Campbell Soup executives can't let that go without doing some damage control. What the ranter had to say, how much of that was true? I'm Rosemarie Havsom. I'm back again to let you know that you can take full control of your life by what you choose to put at the end of your fork. So let's get into it. So just days after Campbell Soup executive VP had to say that the soup in question was unhealthy, it was only for poor people, and that it was made with 3D printed meat, and he didn't want to eat any of that stuff. Well, what does Campbell Soup have to say about that? They're saying that what he's saying is absolutely unfounded and that it's untrue. But you know what they didn't say? They did not say that they do not use bioengineered meat in their soups. It's written right on the can. And if you turn the can over and then look at the list of ingredients, then you can see that this is not a healthy food at all. It's actually made up of a lot of components, including MSG, to trick your taste buds into thinking that this is something healthy to eat, as you were then probably raising your blood pressure because of the amount of sodium that is in each of these cans of soup. And also all of the other artificial ingredients in there that do nothing to help with your nutrition. So there's that. So the fact that damage control is now underway with Campbell Soup, that does not eliminate the fact that a lot of what the ranter had to say was probably true, allegedly. As an insider, why would he go off like that about his own company that he worked for? It's very interesting to see what food companies want the consumer to believe. They want you to believe that what you're eating is actually food, and they want you to believe that what's in those cans and packages and boxes and plastic wrap, that that's all food, that that's real food, but it's not. And as soon as you start to pay attention and read the ingredients on the back of the packaging to see exactly what you're putting into your body, a lot of times, if you really take that time, you won't even bother to eat any of it because it's not real food and it's doing your body a disservice, and your body doesn't know what to do with these components. It's so interesting that it goes as far as what is considered to be fake meat, and does it really have any place in Campbell Soup? In the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis decided that it was time to ban all fake meat from his state. And that's very interesting. That's an interesting move because it makes you wonder, what is the motive behind that? And according to Ron DeSantis, it's to protect farmers and to protect the natural way of producing meat for human consumption.
This mouth-watering sizzle and sear is more science to stomach than farm to table, and that's why it won't be happening in Florida.
Take your fake lab-grown meat elsewhere. We're not doing that in the state of Florida.
That's the message behind the bill Governor DeSantis signed Wednesday. It takes aim at meat grown by scientists in a lab, making it a crime to manufacture or sell cultivated meat in Florida.
What they want to say is this is the same as raising cattle and doing it naturally, then there's no reason that you have this industry. So it is designed to represent a threat to agriculture as we know it.
And supporters say the new law offers protections to Florida's cattle industry.
It's never been more important than today to protect Florida's farmers and ranchers, and that's what this legislation does.
But opponents say concerns about lab-grown meat are overblown. Federal regulators have already said some products are safe and ready to eat after receiving FDA approval last year.
And a lot of times when we see environmentalists, we see vegans, we see people against the poor treatment of animals who are stepping forward to say that we need to save the planet from climate change, and that a lot of it has to do with cows pooping and having gas, methane gas, killing our environment and contaminating our soil. It just makes you wonder, what is the real truth behind it? And when you look at who is saying yes to all of these alternative methods for food, then it's always, you have to follow the money trail. And when you follow the money trail, you'll find a familiar face at the end of that trail. And that is the one and only Bill Gates with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, bankrolling a lot of these alternative food items. There's going to come a time where you won't even need food. Now, I know that that sounds really drastic, but think about it. If we've been conditioned to eat foods that are not real since over 30 years ago, then what's that going to do? What it's doing is it's causing a lot of people to be so addicted to food components that they can barely function in the world. And that's not good. It's also affecting how people think. It's affecting how their emotions and being able to emotionally regulate themselves. It's also leading to a lack of critical thinking and also defiance, aggressive behaviors, and poor choices that people make and then try to dodge accountability. If you look at it carefully, a lot of this stems from the type of foods that we're eating. And there is something to be said about getting rid of real food, in that it's going to create a weaker population, a sicker population, and a population that would be easier to manipulate. Because if you don't have the strength, mental strength, and resilience that comes from eating real food, then what do you have? You will not be able to withstand outside pressures and stress. If we see the amount of people who are suffering from anxiety and depression, we're not talking about clinical depression or clinical levels of anxiety. We're talking about people who say that they are more stressed and that they cannot handle the stress. And yet, when you look at what's really stressing people, it's really not the same as the stresses from 20, 30 years ago. And the main difference is technology. We have technology where people are not able to turn off. And when you're not able to turn it off, you're then becoming more and more addicted to staying online, scrolling, and staring at blue screens. That's not that far removed from Campbell soup and the whole issue around why it's a problem that it's happening now and why it's now being revealed because of one executive's rant. But the good part of it is that now we can see exactly what these large food corporations think about the consumers, especially people that they think are poor and don't deserve good food. It doesn't matter what Campbell Soup has to say to rebut the rant that was made by one of their own executives. The fact still remains, there is biomechanical meat in their products. And there is so much sodium in it that it would raise the blood pressure of even the healthiest person. These are things that we have to look at. And maybe this has shaken up Campbell Soup enough to make them change, but only time will tell. What do you think about Campbell Soup's response to one of their own having a rant about the poor quality of their products? Do you think that Campbell Soup is still a good product to eat? And what do you think about the labels that you hear being spewed in that rant towards consumers? Comment it below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And remember that I too have a YouTube channel. That's Havsom, spelled H-A-V for Victor, S-O-M for mother. And we'll continue the conversation there. Have a good one. Bye.